It is time. It is time indeed. Sorry for that pause. I just literally inhaled all that food. Whoo! Let's go, E3 PC press conference. I think we've got the timing just down, just right. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm here all by myself. That's okay. Because we're in time for the conference. Let's talk some games. Sick audio.
Gameplay footage and all things PC gaming.
Really?
I've been your quizmaster, Tom Marks. Be sure to stick around because you won't want to miss it.
Thanks, quizmaster, Tom Marks. I got you guys. That's right. I got you guys. Give me the energy. Give me the energy. I need it. Went to bed at 5. We're up. We got out of the house. Has anybody ever had to drive in the first 5 minutes of being awake?
Well,
no
it's
bueno.
not just a box or a station, right? Your PC doesn't exist without you. And you don't just use your PC, you're its keeper. You're responsible for it. PC gamers get their hands dirty. We turn the screws, we clean the fans, we thread the cables. It's got your fingerprints on it, and that has a special kind of pride. We build our PCs, and through them, we build friendships and rivalries. We build communities and our reflexes.
We build our reflexes from the ground up.
We write stories, we make mods because we get to decide what experience we want.
Get off my screen, Preston. Thank you. Beautiful. Perfect
God
mod.
bless you, modders.
Perfect.
PCs are
10 out of 10.
scaffolding for our imaginations. That's what PC gaming means to us. To build. And to give back to your hobby as much as it gives to you. This is the PC Gaming Show.
That's the best mod of the year right there. Punch Preston in the face and watch no flying. That's... You don't need any other mods. It's the one mod you should install.
Boys and girls and lovers of games all over the place, this is the PC Gaming Show sponsored by Intel. How are you all doing this fine morning? Ah, yes. You're doing woo. That's excellent. I'm your host, Sean Day9 Plot, and if you have never been to this show before, it's simple. We have a slew of incredible guests who are going to talk about all their upcoming games, one after the other.
Tell me about it, Sean.
I'd like to warmly welcome all of you for
I'm
coming
get
out
my
to the
donut
beautiful
now.
Ace Hotel Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Twitch chat, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know that you're currently being productive and constructive in chat right now.
He's not
now,
wrong.
If you're interested in watching in another language, over at PCGamingShow.com, we have German, Spanish, Russian, Chinese. Feel free to head there, or stay right here for English coverage. And without any further ado, let's find out what's happening this year at the PC Gaming Show.
This is the PC Gaming Show, live from the theater at Ace Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, California. Coming up, Intel explores the future of PC gaming. New announcements from Xbox.
I actually can't tell if this guy is supposed to sound campy or if he's trying really hard.
Gives a first ever look at Battletech's campaign. New footage for Middle-earth, Shadow of War. A new game from Play Entertainment. New gameplay from Total War Warhammer II. New announcements of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. An exciting reveal from Tripwire Interactive. And plenty more. Now, once again, Sean Plot.
Thank you so much, evil omnipotent voice in the sky. Let's talk about our very first game. It is an expansion to the legendary and infamous turn-based strategy game, XCOM
7
2.
out of 10 for what he's wearing right now. His tie is the exact length it needs to be. Not a lot of guys pull that off. But his pants are too long! Get that shit cuffed, son! I'm giving him a 7. Looking sharp, pulling off the paint.
Supposed to be here.
I know, I should be in bed.
At last, a true battle.
XCOM hype, boys! Is that an
three
elite from
resistance
Halo?
groups that we consider a legitimate threat to Advent. Together, they'd make one hell of a fighting force. Too bad they hate each other.
So, you do exist.
They were sent here to purge the lost.
You are safe here. Good.
Advent Hobbit. I suppose we should begin then.
Now the real war begins.
War of the Chosen. Lots of people are going to be excited about that. I'm not an XCOM guy.
The Chosen is the creative director of XCOM
But
2 over at Firaxis. Jake Solomon, pleasure
looks
to have
pretty
you
good
here today.
This is very exciting. We finally get to talk about this. So yes, I'm very pumped. Thank you for having us.
Well then tell us, what is War of the Chosen all about?
Well, so the goal with this game really was to make something massive. So we added a ton of new enemies, lots of new soldier classes, new environments, story, strategy systems, just tons of new toys for players to engage with.
And I understand
But is this just
an
like a
expansion that's even larger
horde
than many of the
mode?
ones you've done previously.
Yeah,
On top
easily
of an
twice
expansion?
the size of the previous XCOM expansion. It is massive.
Well, let's go ahead and start talking about some of the content that's in there. Who are the Chosen?
The Chosen, right? You saw them. They starred in the trailer. So they were
you should have
designed
a
to be
stack
the
of cards
ultimate
Dayton
enemies
has.
of XCOM. They are three
He's got a novel in his
almost,
hands and cue
champions
cards.
of the alien army. And they have three very distinct personalities and three very distinct fighting styles. And the player is going to get to know those very well because over the course of a whole game, they're going to fight each of those Chosen multiple times. And the Chosen, just like the player, they get stronger over the course of the game. They learn new
frozen
skills,
lemonade,
new abilities.
delicious.
They even gain new procedural strengths that the player is going to have to contend with.
So in a sense, it's not like a normal enemy where
Just
you might
Day9
see
wanna play
a Chosen
cards.
in one battle and a Chosen in the
That's
next.
an
It will
inside
be the
joke,
same Chosen
like
again and
5
again
people
and
here are
again,
gonna
getting new
get.
strengths.
That's right, that's right. And so you just, they always have something new up their sleeve because they're always learning sort of new tricks.
Well, you mentioned the personalities of the different Chosen.
Yeah.
Walk me through who the Chosen are and what these strengths and weaknesses might be.
Yeah, so for example, there's the assassin, and her personality is tied up in duty and honor. She feels very honor-bound to serve her masters, her creators, and she does that, of course, by hunting down XCOM and killing soldiers, you know.
A natural expression of identity.
We're bringing back some familiar elements from earlier games, yes.
Yeah.
And so, but
I mean, her teeth
combat-wise,
aren't
she's a
that
mix
bad.
of stealth and close quarters combat, so she can vanish from sight, and she uses that to get in close on the soldiers and use her blade. So, like the other Chosen, she's very powerful, and she has a sort of unique fighting style that the player hasn't seen before.
And we've talked about this new obstacle in the form of the Chosen. You know, mentioned the assassin. Who are the other two?
There's the hunter, that's more of a long-range sniper.
Yeah.
And then we have the warlock, which is, you know, a warlock. So, he's
Super descriptive.
Warlock. So yeah, they all have
The
very
warlock
unique
is,
skill
believe
sets,
it or
and so
not,
it's fun to fight
a
each of
warlock.
them.
What about the new tools that players have in order to try to overcome this obstacle of the Chosen?
Yes, so as you saw in the trailer, XCOM is not the only resistance movement on Earth. So in War of the Chosen, you have these three factions out there, and like the Chosen, they all have distinct philosophies and distinct fighting styles. But for the player to get access to those, first they have to win those factions over. They have to recruit them to the XCOM cause. But when you do, you have access to the most powerful soldiers we've ever created. So
And we're taking a look at the Reaper right now. What's the gameplay of the Reaper?
That's right, the Reapers. So they are sort of stealth
The Reaper
marksmen and
reaps.
saboteurs. Then we have the Skirmishers,
He's a
which
Reaper.
are actually defectors from the alien army.
Oh,
Says
that makes
nothing
sense with
else.
the art style. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Look at those fingers. Yeah, so they're half alien human hybrids, and they're sort of
Look at
like
those
single soldier
fingers.
wrecking crews. They're really powerful. And then we have the Templars, and they're the most mysterious of the factions. They are psionic wildlings, and they work.
They got
a little
lost
differently
along the way,
because
took a
they
wrong
build up
turn
power
and
over
missed the
multiple
Halo
attacks
train.
that they can then unleash in more devastating
So
abilities.
it's sort of like a mini resource management mechanic specifically for the Templar.
It definitely is. There's trade-offs there where as they gain focus, you either want to keep it because it makes them stronger, or you can spend it on these really powerful abilities.
Now, in the trailer, we got the chance to briefly look at the Lost. And though we didn't see them too much, I wanted to get the chance for you to talk about them a little more now. Who are they?
Right. So the Lost, this comes out of the idea that the original alien invasion happened 20 years ago. And in that invasion, the aliens destroyed some of the greatest cities of the world, and we've never been back. So in War of the Chosen, we go back. And what you find there are the Lost, these handsome...
I thought that everyone in the cities died, but apparently they're alive and well. They're doing fine.
Yeah, as you can see, they've weathered the last 20 years really well.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, these are heavily mutated humans. And,
You might not like it, but this is what peak human performance looks like.
Sure.
But unfortunately, you don't fight single Lost. They move in large swarms. And so when you go into the cities, these swarms are drawn to the sound of combat, and they never stop coming. And there is a silver lining, which is that the Lost don't like aliens either. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so once the Lost show up, then everybody's fighting for their lives.
And I know that a big hallmark of the XCOM games is the sort of tactical maneuvers of the AI that, in the same way you're planning, it's planning too. But the Lost behave quite differently.
Yeah, they're mindless. So the idea is that you have this tactical combat going on against you versus the Advent, the aliens, and then all of a sudden this horde shows up and it throws everybody's plans out of whack. And then you can even have maps where they are chosen, lost, you're fighting the Advent at the same time, and it makes for some very, very
I mean, for the type of gameplay that
chaos.
XCOM serves up, having these kind of pre-baked,
well, Jake,
really specific
first
fighting
guest
styles.
Out, so I'm going to ask you the big question.
Okay.
When do we get to play it?
We get to play this. War of the Chosen comes out August 29th, so very soon.
2 months.
That's right, very soon on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So people should follow XCOM on Twitter and Facebook if they want to keep up with all the latest XCOM information.
And Jake didn't want to do this, but I'm going to make him do it. Follow Jake on Twitter. It's at Solomon Jake. Follow him, say hello, and tell him you're proud to be a follower.
Yes, yes, please, please. Thank you. I don't like self-promotion.
Don't worry, I got you covered. At Jake
Sean
Solomon.
for that. Thank you.
It's at Jake Solomon. At Jake Solomon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Jake Solomon, creative director of XCOM 2.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'm sorry, what was it again? At Jake Solomon?
As some of you may know, I am not the only host at this event. Joining me to do all sorts of announcement goodies is a woman named Sonia Reed, but you may know her a little better as OMG, It's Firefox. How's it going, Sonia?
Hi. Thank you, Sean, and hello, you beautiful gamers. And whether you are checking us out online or you're hanging out with us here today, I am super excited to be here and show you guys some awesome games.
Hey, oh my God, it's
I'm not gonna
Firefox.
wait. We're just going to get right into it. I want to show you a game called Ooblets. It is going to be coming out
With
early
3
next year,
X's.
and it is from an impressive studio of only
She's
2
covertly
people
working
called
for Microsoft now.
Wonderland. So it's kind of a mashup between Harvest Moon meets Pokemon meets Adventure Time, but even cuter, if you can imagine that. So I'm going to show you how to grow and customize your Ooblets in this exclusive trailer.
Your Ooblets? I mean, this looks mildly adorable, right? Okay, they're actually hatching living... Alright, well now it's just an acid trip. One of them have a monocle? And a top hat? Oh, it's a bowler's hat. Oh my goodness. Hat boxes. What is this game? So this is like... Viva Pinata meets Katamari Damacy meets The Sims?
that trailer?
Huh. Does it, Sean? That trailer? Oh, hey, look, it's Mech Warrior.
I'm on him.
But not really. I think it's, what is it, Battletech, the original. Before Mech Warrior, there was the Cube.
Moving to position.
There could not have been a more tonal shift between two trailers.
That Ooblets trailer makes me oh so happy, and the previous one you just got the chance to see is the old school tabletop game Battletech, distilled into its purest form
Tabletop
on PC.
game.
And here to
I know
talk
I did.
about it from Harebrained Schemes is
I understand
Jordan
the tabletop.
Wiseman and Mitch Gittleman. Welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you up on stage.
Thank you very much.
Woo! Yes, that's the spirit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of games based on Battletech. Tell us about this incarnation.
By all means, Battletech is a modern, turn-based tactical game set within the Mech Warrior universe. There's going to be 3 modes of play. A single-player skirmish, a multiplayer skirmish, and then our open-ended mercenary campaign.
Well, I want to hop straight into some of that single-player content by taking a journey
Battletech
to
is so badass.
Argo. I understand that
It's
there's
so
all
awesome.
sorts of combat goodies that we're going to see in a moment.
Mech Warrior
But
was
the Argo
great.
is in between missions. Walk us through what we're seeing.
Right, so
here.
the Argo
But the
is,
intricacies
broken
of
down a
the
hulk
universe,
a
for me,
spaceship from a bygone era,
right over the
and
dome.
it is your
I'm too
mercenary
stupid.
command center. You could take it all over space, going from star system to star system, and taking mercenary jobs from all sorts of different people, from petty dictators all the way up to the great lords and ladies of the noble houses. And from there, you can also command your entire mercenary crew. There's Samiri, she's your navigator, and you command her and all of your mech warriors as you take your jobs and upgrade your ship.
I'm curious a little bit about the storyline in the single player.
Sure. So you're going to see in a few moments Lady Kamea Arano. She's a deposed ruler. Her throne was taken by her uncle, and you are going to jump in and help her regain her throne. Of
course.
It's been plunged, the whole space has been plunged into a bloody civil war.
And these, of course,
See,
are the
this
tools
is a really awesome thing for me to
negotiation and
see.
diplomacy, called battle
But,
mechs. And here in,
I was
the
Mech Warrior
which is
II,
one of the
so
key components of the Argo, you're able to customize
all the mechs I know
adding different
are-
weapons, changing out weapons and armor, heat
what are they
sinks,
called?
all that kind of stuff. Yang here is your master of ceremonies. He's one of the key crew members, because fixing these mechs after you come back from combat, you're a merc. You're supposed to make money. Taking damage, sets you behind, and so that's a
what's
really
the
delicate
term for those
balancing act.
mechs?
I can imagine
The
that
Nova
trying
and all,
to
they're
get
all
all the parts that you
broken.
need
They're
for
all
your
like
ship
super
could
overpowered.
be a little difficult.
Absolutely. That's why things like
Clan
especially
mechs,
this
that's
time
it.
in era where parts are scarce, battlefield salvage is an important part of the game, and that also gets into like when you take out an enemy, try to leave the parts you want.
Yeah, you want to hit him just hard enough to take him down. There's Lady Kamea Arano there, and she's going to be the person you work for during the campaign. But of course, when the campaign ends, the single-player story ends, you can still play the open-ended campaign, traveling around doing whatever you want. And there are the battle mechs.
Yes, now we're going to get a chance to look at the combat itself. You're coming down from the Argo, you're descending into battle. Walk me through what we're seeing.
By all means. So Battletech full 3D environment, and like a modern tactical game, the environment counts, right? Line of sight, sensors, cover.
Well, the clan
even though
mechs
you're,
were horribly
30
broken.
foot tall, covered in armor,
I mean-
hiding in a forest still helps. It soaks off damage. And so all of those are kind of core components
Literally
of any
all of
modern
them
game,
are
and especially
basically-
facing, which is really important in this game.
Facing really matters in
Overpowered.
Battletech. Battle mechs aren't giant bags of hit points. Instead, they have 11 different armor locations. There's internal structure. They have the internal components, these critical slots filled with all sorts of important pieces. So what you're trying to do is strip off the armor from one location and then keep your facing to try and penetrate it, get to the juicy bits.
Yeah, I mean, I see this diagram at the top. It's reminiscent of the original tabletop game, which I actually
Like I see a
played as kid.
catapult,
I mean,
and
like,
you know, for somebody like me, if I didn't know better already,
I mean,
look
I
at this
understand
from being
the,
a kid, I go, that's
same
a
sort of idea where
general.
damaging the arm disables that weapon, but the mech can keep going.
And you keep
Except
going out,
it's
you
not.
blow that arm off, and they lose those weapons.
And the back is really juicy and tasty too. You get around the back of a battle mech and penetrate. I said that out. We're live,
Penetration. Oh, I just see one mech punch another mech in the dick.
What you just saw there is melee. One of the things we're really excited about. I mean, mechs were not only weapon systems; they're giant, armored suits, and so going up and being able to slug and kick and just even put a foot through a cockpit or death from above, jump up and slam down on mechs. All that stuff is supported in this game. And
you really want to manage your heat too. You're walking. These mechs. The pilots are sitting on a giant nuclear reactor, basically, and so you really want to watch your heat. How much?
Like this guy here is overheating.
Did any of the Mech Warrior games ever have melee? I don't think they did. Did they?
Vulnerable.
It's been really fascinating to watch a lot of the streams because I know you guys just went into beta. Where can the people here go to sign up to play?
Why, Sean, they can go to battletechgame.com. That's battletechgame.com. Come find us on battletechgame.com.
And if you're interested in a used mech, this is the guy to talk to.
That's right.
Now, I'd like to state again, battletechgame.com. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Jordan, Mitch, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers. Now, our very next game you may recognize from PC Games past. To talk about it, we got Sonia in the mezzanine.
Thank you, Sean. Our next game is to come to us from our friends at Tales World Entertainment, and they have been working on an awesome open-ended action medieval RPG game.
Somebody needs to
I don't want to waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. We're going to check out the trailer for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Entirely in her chest. Because when she's trying to start off, she's like, "Hey guys!" It's like, "Hey." It's entirely in her chest. Sounds tiring. Oh boy, somewhere Brian is losing his mind right now. Our good buddy Brian is losing his mind. Yes, this looks good and complicated. Okay. Yes. That hurt. Probably did too. He's fine. It's a few arrows. It's nothing major. Oh. Nobody was following him. He was pretty much just by himself. That dude not even wearing a helmet? That looked like a shopkeeper came up and decided he just wanted to go to war. Yeah! Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Always a pleasure to have Mountain Blade 2 here at the PC Gaming Show. Now, I know we've just gotten started and we've seen XCOM and Ooblets and Battletech. We would love to hear your thoughts. Use hashtag PC Gaming Show. Let us know what you think. We'll even put some of the tweets up here live. Not all of the tweets, because that would be a disaster. Some of you on Twitter really need to pull it together. But either way, we'd be thrilled to hear your thoughts. And coming up next, we have the sequel to Total War Warhammer 1. It's Total War Warhammer 2. I'm joined by Al Bickham from Creative Assembly.
How you doing?
How's it going, Al?
Yeah, really good. Good to be here.
So tell me, what is it that's been going on since your announcement a few months ago?
Quite a lot, really. I mean, this is we're working on the second game in our trilogy. It's going to be every bit as big as the first game,
next card.
We're sort of doubling down on all the stuff
4
that made
down,
the first game so far.
56 more to
real
go.
Diversification between the factions and a whole range of new kind of gameplay extras in the campaign game as well. So 4 new factions set across 4 new continents.
There's 4 new factions, is there?
Yep, 4 new factions, yep.
I thought there were 2 big ones we were talking about.
No, well, we're focusing on the High Elves and the Lizard Men at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's the Dark Elves as well, and another 4th race, which we have yet to announce.
Oh, you tease.
I know, terrible, isn't it?
Well, Al, talk to us a little bit about the High Elves and the Lizard Men.
Right, so they're both essentially working towards the same goal in the campaign game, which is.
I love Sean dearly, and he's absolutely amazing and articulate.
Map, which ties the whole narrative of the game together.
Right,
but
even those in the Warhammer world with the same aims will.
This hosting style, I feel like I'm watching.
That's what we're
a school presentation.
And we're going to be looking at
like
what is
the
called
history
a quest
of
battle between the High Elves and the Lizardmen. Walk us through a little bit of what we're about to see.
Okay, so this is we're about to show some footage from a quest battle for Krogar, who's one of the legendary lords for the Lizardmen, and this is one of his quest battles, and it's the battle for the Fallen Gates. So you'll see the massed Lizardman forces trying to oust the High Elves as they try and they're sort of meddling in an ancient power site of the Lizardmen.
Well, I'm very excited to take a look. It's going to be some in-game footage
early on the draw.
From
Somebody
the Battle of the Fallen
press the
Gates.
button a bit early. A lot of units on screen. Oh shit! That was epic. Oh, revenge. All right. That showed me almost nothing, but I got to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex take out a pterodactyl.
September 28th, Al. That's
so that was kind of neato.
That is the first time I think we've got the chance to see that official release date.
Yep, we're announcing that today. We're officially out on the 28th of September.
I'm sure that's not
so
what they're called in the game.
Now. We've got an early adopter bonus, which is a really significant sort of bunch of new content for Warhammer 1. It's a new awesome. Race pack, in fact. So yeah, we're out this year.
Well, I want to take a step back, and I want to have you talk a little bit about what it was that we just saw in the Battle of the Fallen Gates.
Right, so as I mentioned, this is a quest battle, and this is the Lizardmen versus the High Elves.
Right.
And this is what we've got playable here at E3 this week. So you'll be able to take control of the Lizardmen in that battle and experience that immense diversity and all the crazy stuff that's going on in their army, because they're essentially an army of
not putting pop filters on these on-face mics. Bold move gotten.
Small dinosaurs that ride big dinosaurs with Aztec space lasers, and it's playing with Warhammer.
It's just dinosaurs all the way down,
all the way up and all the way down. Yeah. So and Warhammer gives us these toys to play with to make the game with. It's awesome.
Well, backing out of the battle, I know that the campaign map in Total War Warhammer was a big hit. What's going on with the campaign level in Warhammer 2? So in Warhammer 2, we've got a ton of new campaign features which lead you to kind of explore and discover and gain new abilities and that kind of stuff. And it's all based around a sort of overarching narrative, so all the races are in tension right until the end. But we're also, shortly after launch, we're also releasing a free update for the game, which will bring the combined campaign map into play, which is
Did we hear which 4 new races there are?
And Warhammer 2 together in a gigantic
we talked about like elves and lizardmen, but did we hear anything about
from both games?
A fourth?
Well, I understand you have presence here at E3, not just in this show, but also on the floor. What are players going to get the chance to play there?
Yep, so they can play the Battle of the Fallen Gates. We've got 2 difficulty modes, so a kind of starter difficulty mode and a veterans difficulty mode. And they'll also get to see, we're also rolling, when you play it, you'll see the actual campaign map as well. We've put a video together that details loads of the new features in the campaign map, so you can actually see that in action as well. So if you get a chance, go play. It's really good fun.
Well, Al, I want to thank you for coming out and talking to us today about Total War Warhammer 2. Once again, feel free to check it out on the E3 floor, or if you're at home, there'll be tons of footage and updates about the Battle of the Fallen Gates. Now, our next game is in the card game genre, a genre where no matter how hard I try, I wind up playing bad decks and having fun. Here to talk about the upcoming expansion for Shadowverse is Kriparian.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here. Today I want to talk to you guys about Shadowverse. Shadowverse is one of the best card games out there because it basically just does everything right. Every time I log into Shadowverse, I have an amazing experience. I can play whatever deck type, whatever deck,
How much money was Krip paid for that statement?
And of course, every time there's new cards added to the game, this whole thing gets forwarded and really the game gets so much richer. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the worldwide debut of the Wonderland Dreams trailer.
I have a book for thee.
I'm sure he genuinely enjoys it, but for
each page,
he'd be crazy like anybody in his position to just do that for free.
Where fairy tales
He's got
dovetail with myths.
Tens of thousands of people watching him all the time.
Grand.
That's worth an incredible amount of money.
Knights and dragons, or wistful love. Within this book, all ambitions bloom. But be warned,
I'm not saying that's a bad
my
thing
fickle
either.
friend.
I'm just curious.
A dark
This art's
abyss
pretty dope, though.
awaits us all. For
I feel like I heard about this
blood
game, but
wishes
never
be.
looked too far into it.
But fear not to bite life's fruit, for in this land, courage is key. With bated breath, the door sweeps open, glory-bound or purged in flame. The hand you choose defines your fate. So I ask you, is this really just a game?
Wonderland Dreams! Alright, what's all the games we've seen to this point? I want to write them down. I'm running on so little sleep that I need notes.
Technology is an extremely
Can somebody list the ones we've seen so far for me? Just to remind me.
Power of hardware and with new demands coming from VR. Here to talk a little bit about tech in games is the leader of the software development group at Intel. It's Doug Fisher. Doug, come on out.
How you doing, Sean?
Hey, thanks for joining us, Doug.
It's great to be here.
That 4-second dubstep clip.
Coming out, and of course, thanks to Intel for sponsoring this event. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And since Doug has a whole bunch of exciting stuff to say, I'm going to give the stage to Doug. Goodbye.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am very excited to be here. And I'm very excited to talk to the PC gaming community about all the announcements we made this morning from Intel. I'm a software guy, you're the gamers. All these announcements are very relevant to everything we do. You know, 2016 was an amazing year by all measures in gaming. Look at the number of live streams in Twitch, over 2 million new live streams. Over 300 million esports enthusiasts.
Thank you guys, appreciate that.
And look at the growth in VR. 2017 is going to be even more amazing. And why? Because of you. It's because of you in this room, the PC gamers. It's because of you on the broadcast. You are
We're going to crank out these i9X series.
You drive us to innovate. You are on the edge of technology all the time.
Take our rebadged
You have that
Xeon
instinct
chips.
on what the new capabilities are that
what's
we
the
need
third
to
I
deliver.
word?
And then
There's
you have
two.
this amazing, inclusive, and social environment. Young, old, male, female, tech, non-tech. Millions of people getting together, inspiring each other
You only said male and
to
female.
immerse themselves
Tumblr
in this
is
environment. Now, it starts at Intel with amazing hardware technology. We've talked about the launch we had 2 weeks ago of our X series platforms. Now, you gaming enthusiasts will love the Core i7X overclocking capability. It's an amazing system. And you megatasters who want to game, create, stream will love the beast of them all.
Male,
the Core
females, and attack
i9
helicopters.
Extreme
There it
Edition.
is.
An amazing system for this environment. Now, as a software person, I love this environment. I love this hardware. Because why? It gives software people less time waiting, more time creating that amazing content. I work with over 1 million gaming developers to ensure they take full advantage of all that innovation we put on our platforms. Whether it's working on the caching algorithms or the high-density graphics or multi-core, it doesn't matter,
need to see
all
a
the
list.
different areas, the best-known methods. We ensure these millions of developers are making the most out of that platform, delivering the best content. Then we work to market that so that all the gamers out here, the billions of
Hey,
gamers,
Maxion, thank you for that sub,
know
boss.
the new compelling content that's available. And this is just an example of some of the titles we work with. I'm sure you recognize a lot of these titles. These are just a few examples, whether it's Halo Wars 2 or Overwatch, or in the VR space, where it's Arizona Sunshine or The Unspoken. We're working with all these content providers to ensure they take full advantage of all those new capabilities. How many people have heard of Destiny? Yeah. I couldn't be more excited to tell you that we worked with Bungie and Activision to bring Destiny 2 to the PC. Yes, we're bringing it to the PC. Yes, bring it up. That experience is absolutely amazing. And I can't think of a better person to talk about how amazing that experience is than the full-time live Twitch streamer and YouTube broadcaster.
You're going to be able to play games
Tefty.
while live streaming at the same time.
Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Good, great to see you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
So you
Sick beard, bro.
really do live, eat, breathe, sleep, dream Destiny.
I do. I play a lot of Destiny. I've got thousands of hours, hundreds of raids completions. I've built my community around Destiny on Twitch, and I'm a co-host for, one of the founding co-hosts of Destiny Community Podcast, one of the biggest podcasts specifically for Destiny. So I know a lot about Destiny, and I play a lot of it.
That's great. And so when you play it, have you experienced it on the PC yet?
I have, yeah. I got to play it at the event. I got to say, the PC experience is amazing. As somebody who's played a lot of hours in Destiny, everybody knows how is it going to transfer, how's the experience going to go from console to PC, are they going to actually be able to deliver? And I can say 100% sure that the PC experience is incredible. When I got to play it, I was blown away. I popped Dawnblade, using mouse and keyboard, and rain and fire from above. It was amazing. You guys, if you're a fan of Destiny, you're going to love Destiny 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is anybody out here going to be able to participate and play with this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be on the it's going to be on the show floor. The other thing too is they've got tons of PC support as well that's being added to it. So 4K is going to be beautiful looking. It's got 21:9 ratio, uncapped frame rates. I mean, for me personally, I'm going to be looking at pushing 144 or higher for FPS because it's going to be so nice. And yes, absolutely. On top of that, Bungie has told me something specific that is exciting for the high CPU core count chips. They are optimizing the engine so it will take advantage of all the cores in your CPU. So if you do have an i9 Extreme, which, hey, you know, maybe
we're getting the $2,000 CPU, 32 cores.
It'll be able to take advantage of all those cores. That
36, I mean, sorry, it's 18 on Intel.
Myself, I'm very excited about that potential for Destiny 2.
18 cores, 32 threads.
Maxed with as many frames as possible.
Well, fantastic. You guys all have a chance to take a look at it. Maybe you and I can play later today.
That'd be great.
All right.
Hey, it's going to be more than 2 cores being used in gaming.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much.
That's good stuff right there.
Big hand.
Now, Blizzard, pay fucking attention.
I love that. That experience.
Do the same.
Nothing says it like that, right? All right. So it's not just about the top 8 list titles, but also it's about the broad set of developers we participate with. The independent developers. You can see examples of properties that they've developed. We want to make sure everybody's developing and creating content on the PC to create more and more opportunity to participate in that. We're inspiring these developers through a contest called Level Up. Take a look at the sponsors between Intel. You got Green Man Gaming, Epic, and Razer sponsoring this event. We have real luminaries judging, like Tim Schafer. Yes, Tim Schafer is going to be judging this contest. The winner will be announced at PAX West in Seattle in September. I encourage you to participate. It's a great event. It's a great opportunity for independent developers to get involved and participate. And why do we care? As a software guy, why do we care? Because we want more and more content out there, more opportunities for games for others to participate. We want to discover the next big thing on the PC. We don't know where it's going to come from. So we want lots of people participating on our platform so that the next big thing is built on top of the PC. And you, everybody here, all you gamers, you can participate as well. I'm certain as you're participating in a game, you've thought of something new,
PowerPoint presentation I've ever seen.
To reality, this is your opportunity to be one of those
I feel like I'm in a boardroom right now and
well,
somebody's giving me their sales pitch.
One of those developers. And create that amazing immersive experience. Whether you're a gamer, content creator, or even esports. Now, speaking of esports, we had 2 exciting announcements today in the esports arena, pun intended. With ESL.
There was a pun there?
The first being, we have a landmark deal with ESL. Intel is now the global technology provider for esports for ESL. That's great news for everybody in the gaming community because the latest technology will be used for the events, for the studios, the back-end operations, and the streaming capabilities during the event. You'll have the latest technology at those events. Now, the thing I love about sports, and I'm a traditional sports admirer as well, is they have this tradition around these things called a Grand Slam, whether it's tennis, golf, rugby. They have a Grand Slam. And there's no reason we can't have that in esports. And that's why we're excited with Oculus, ESL, and Intel are sponsoring the Grand Slam event, Intel Grand Slam. And all these leagues getting together, and the first team to win 4 of the 10 events will be the Grand Slam winner. They'll collect their traditional prize, but in addition, they'll get another $1 million bonus for being the Grand Slam winner. $1 million. All right.
People are like, man, Dota has like 6 mil.
You
gotta up that
about
ante.
the announcement today around Echo Arena.
That's pretty cool though. I like it.
Taken this property.
It's a good idea.
And now are making it VR multiplayer. Do you guys see that announcement today? It's so great. They're creating the multiplayer VR experience and bringing it to life.
Professional projectile vomiting.
We're so excited about it at Intel, and we want so many people to start participating with it. We are sponsoring a deal in conjunction with Oculus to make this available with Oculus free of charge for limited time at launch. So all of you can play with this game free of charge starting July 20th. And you now can participate, learn, and become an expert in VR gaming. Now, I know when you become an expert, what do you want to do? You want to showcase those skills. Wouldn't it be awesome if you had an opportunity to showcase those skills? That's why we're super excited to work together to create the VR Challenge. With Intel, Oculus, and ESL, we're creating the VR Challenge.
Didn't Intel have their own show earlier today?
In the VR arena. And
I
everybody's
feel like I'm getting
compete,
Intel 2.0
and it's
here.
going to be in Poland at the Intel Extreme Masters, where the finals will be in 2018. Book your tickets now. It's going to be a crazy event. Now, I know everybody likes a challenge. Everybody's excited about challenges. I'm going to give you a challenge all here today. Just participate in at Intel Gaming. Follow at Intel Gaming, and you'll have a chance by participating there to win one of 3 great prizes, one from Oculus, one from Asus, and one from iBuyPower. You'll have a chance to win one of these prizes just by participating in this challenge. And don't dismay, all those will have Core i7 in the systems. So it's a great opportunity to play, participate, and bring up that challenge. So the future is here now, the future of gaming. You can just feel it growing.
Here's the summary.
And growing. You see the immersive capabilities.
This does
and
feel
why
like
is that happening?
a boardroom
we have
presentation.
Amazing
Is so good.
Intel hardware.
Oh my God!
As a software person, that helps me participate in
Bring
creating
it
amazing
home.
and compelling content and those new immersive experiences we all want to have. So the realm of possibilities are here now. An example of that is VR. So I'm stepping away now. I'm going to go up and look at the Echo platform, Echo Arena, and see how it goes, and I'll be back in a minute. So Sean?
A minute even.
Doug, it was a pleasure to have you. Thanks for all the great announcements. And of course, thanks again to Intel for sponsoring this event. Keep in mind, if you look at the time, we're not even halfway done yet. We have all sorts of games still yet to be announced.
What?
So let's go ahead and look at what's to come.
What?
You're watching the PC Gaming Show. Coming up, Brendan Green joins us to talk about the future of his smash hit, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And a new game from Clay Entertainment. Back to you.
I'm not gonna have enough time to get all this shit up before the Ubisoft conference. Fuck.
It's time to take a look at an upcoming game up in the mezzanine with Sonia. How's it going, Sonia?
Thank you, Sean. So, as a Firefox, this is a game that pulls on my heartstrings and does not let go, and I just want to hear more about it. And luckily, I've got the perfect person to talk to today. I am joined by Felix Kramer on the game formerly known as Secret Legend, but you've got some special announcements. I saw some secretive tweets from the Dicey Twitter account.
You did.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, you're exactly right. We were known as Secret Legend, but today we're announcing our new name, Tunic. So you can head to tunicgame.com to find out more about that.
For a second.
And
I was
we're
like,
announcing that we're pairing
go
with
on.
publisher Finji, who you may know from their incredible work on Night in the Woods and Overland.
That's so exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I want to tell you, it wasn't just the fox that sold me on this game. I love the beautiful, charming graphics, and honestly, I just want to see more of it. Can we check out the trailer?
Let's do it.
I'm totally not reading from a teleprompter right now. I mean, I understand why they have to read from a teleprompter, but it's really hard. It's really hard to read from a teleprompter if somebody else wrote it and it's not in your own kind of like language. This does look adorable, though. I'm not gonna lie. Fucking Ubisoft top hoop god. Ubisoft always has the cringiest moments, so. Yes, Yes, back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Sonia. Now, our next title that we'll be talking about is honestly a huge surprise hit, having just surpassed 3 million sales. You
That
may
did look pretty
recognize
cool,
it
though.
as one of the 3 most played and broadcasted games on Twitch
What's
right
the name
now.
of that game,
It's
Tunic?
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I'm literally next to PlayerUnknown right now. Brendan Green, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I gotta say, it has been amazing to see the runaway success of your game. What's it been like for you?
Oh, it's been immense. I mean, really, the reaction we've got from players and content creators has been tremendous, and I want to say thank you to everyone for that. It's been great.
And thank you for the experiences, both of the joy of winning and the, well, I guess the joy of a bullet flying through my head out of nowhere, and I'll never know why.
You got to learn to love the salt. Love it.
Well, I understand that even though a lot of people treat
yes,
the game
but
almost
did you
as a full
fix the
release
servers
right
yet?
now,
Yeah.
it's still technically not released yet, and there's a whole lot more to come. Talk to us a little bit about what's in store.
So we have, our focus
The
at the
only
moment is
person that
sort of
needs to be
stabilize
on
the
screen
game,
right now
servers
is
up to
Dr.
spec, but
Disrespect.
also we
I don't want to
have,
see another
2D,
person
3D replays planned
on
for
this
in-game
highlight
replays.
reel.
We have new weapons
Because
coming every
they're
month.
not worthy.
So
Hey,
yeah,
guess
no,
what?
but
Blue
our
hole
current focus is
climbing.
really just get the game competitive and stable.
So suddenly fences are no longer the most impossible object in the game. You can climb over them.
Yeah,
Pretty good animations.
So our content programmer Marek, he's done a really
Not
great
bad.
job getting this system to be dynamic. So it doesn't matter what object you're in front of, you'll jump or
really?
vault over it.
Yeah, so in terms of jumping and vaulting, is
Oh,
it...
shit!
Yeah,
Those are
vaulting.
some good, that's
Is
no
it-
joke,
is it
that's
sort of,
pretty
when
fucking,
you say that it's
okay,
dynamic,
that was
does this
a
mean
little,
that the taller the obstacle, the more difficult it is to
little
climb
crazy.
over?
Yeah,
You can
exactly,
climb
and it
over
has different animations for each different thing, so vaulting, climbing. Now we
Oh.
also have weather, so.
One of my favorite aspects, of course, is the rain map in the game. Walk me through what we're seeing here.
So this is our new weather settings. This is fog. You just saw a clear day. Our rain has been tweaked a little bit as well. And we also have our sunset coming in. So this really, I'm really happy with how this turned out.
That's
it's quite
beautiful.
Damn.
And what is the impact on gameplay of these types of things with weather?
It just changed dynamic. Oh, so this is...
Oh, a new gun.
Yes. This is the OTS Groza. It's a 7.62 bullpup. Super powerful, crate only. Yeah, it's going to be a beast.
Is it a short range, long range? Where's
medium
its
to
utility?
medium, short to medium, it's going to be a beast. It's going to be super powerful.
Yeah.
And then long range, it'll work as well.
And I remember before you came on the show, I asked,
It's a
why did you put
bullpup.
that gun
You
in?
want to
And I
be
think your answer
standing
was,
20 feet from the person.
looks cool.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
closer.
We wanted to add a bullpup and we wanted to add something else to the 7.62 class. And this is a Spetsnaz weapon. Yeah, it just looks great.
It looks cool, as good as a reason as any, honestly. I want to come back to the weather effects. Obviously, they look beautiful. What are some of the impacts that you've seen on the gameplay with the new weather effects?
Well, it's just going to change the way you play. So it's not necessarily going to be, you're going to be sniping all the time. You know, with the foggy weather, you're going to have to choose a more...
This guy
kind
is
of
dumpstering
CDQ type,
H1Z1
playstyle.
so
But
fucking
it's just,
hard
again,
right
to
now.
give you a bit of variety
It's
and make every game
actually
kind of different.
crazy.
You've talked a little bit about what we've seen in the video, but talk to me about long term. What's far down the line for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
So again, we want to finish out the platform and make it a good platform for all kind of game modes. You know, we will have modding down the line as well. Yeah, and it's just creating a stable platform. That's our aim here.
I understand that you're also working on new maps.
Yeah, so we have 2 new maps coming, one based in Peru, a desert map with sort of ruined cities with sandstorms and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then this other one in the
H1Z1 Daisy and Breaking Point, all at the same
time. In the center of the
time.
map with like snowfall, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that you've been super involved with the community of regular players. What's in store for those people playing the game right now?
So as I said, we have our custom games. We have the 3D replays, which I'm really excited about because it allows you to watch your match back in the engine with a free cam and slow motion and stuff
which
like
is
that.
great for content creators.
Exactly.
What the
So you can
content
just
creators, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
Is this somebody actually making a game early access
and stuff like that within the
and
game?
continuing to make
the
it
last
better?
thing I want to bring up, because you were mentioning this a lot before you came on,
I didn't know
you have
that
all
was
sorts
possible.
of stability and performance fixes incoming.
Yeah, so like our focus this month is on our server performance and really getting that stable. Because
Yes!
at the moment the servers aren't performing the best they could. But you know, so last month our team's focus was on client performance, and we improved that broadly for a lot of people. And this month it's on server, so they've already found a lot of things to fix. And I'm excited.
You said the
That's
magic
great.
word,
I'm sure players
server.
will completely stop blaming anything on the game at that point.
Right.
They will accept responsibility for those losses then. Well, to PlayerUnknown himself, Brendan, thank you so much for coming out to talk about it. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
As we get ourselves set up for the next game, we're going to head to the mezzanine with Sonia for a little bit of a giveaway.
Thank you, Sean. Sean is pretty cool, right? But you know what's a little bit cooler? A free PC. We're going to be giving away a badass PC from our friends at Intel. This bad boy is going to be rocking an i7 7700K processor.
But
there's a lot of sevens
new
in there,
PC
and it's going to be
is more
running a
neato.
NVIDIA GTX 1080. It is worth more than $2,500. So if you want a chance to win, head over to PCGamingShow.com/giveaway and put in your information. Good luck, and back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Sonia. And I am pretty cool, right? Jesus, thanks, audience. Woo! I didn't realize you could pinpoint the exact time and date a career died. But we still have all sorts of great stuff in store for you. Our next guest you may recognize from PC gaming shows past. Tripwire Interactive is back with a slew of games to talk about. And I'm joined by creative director Bill Monk. Pleasure to have you, Bill.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you.
As always.
All right.
You guys have been busy. Congratulations on the recent release of Rising Storm 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a realism FPS. We just released it 2 weeks ago, and the fan reaction's been really positive. Really happy about that, and we want to thank everyone who was part of the beta phases that helped shape the game in a real positive way. And be sure to check out the Trello boards, see what we're up to, and we're actually already really busy working on
Rising
some new content.
Storm. Is this Rising Storm 2?
That's amazing.
There was a
I
Rising
know so many
Storm
people
1.
know you from Killing Floor 2, but especially this year, there's so much to talk about. I mean, last year you announced Killing Floor, Incursion, the VR Killing Floor. How's that been going?
Oh, that's been going awesome. You know, Incursion's one of the second phase, game or second wave games to come out for VR, and we've learned a lot. And we're really, really excited. We think we have one of the best products that's going to come out later this year. It's scary as hell. You can play it
I don't know if I could handle
single
it.
player and co-op, and we're really excited to release it. So stay tuned on that.
That's awesome. Now, the big thing I know you wanted to talk about today was a little bit of content coming down the line for your big game, Killing Floor 2. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when we released Killing Floor 1, one of the things that really put us on the map was our time seasonal events.
Right.
And when we released Killing Floor 2, people were always clamoring and asking, you know, well, when are you guys going to do that for Killing Floor 2?
Reasonable enough.
Well, we're super happy to announce the Summer Sideshow coming out this year.
Well, I'm eager to show everyone this footage. This trailer makes me laugh every time. Let's go ahead and take a look at Killing Floor 2's Summer Sideshow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tragic Kingdom Amusement Park. Come on down and play Find Minnie Dookie, Feed the Pound, Dunk the Bloat, and Pop the What? Was that a proverbial head, trade for festive clown makeup, colorful hats, and dozens of other items. Carnival rewards are only available for a limited time. See the adorable pinhead and marvel at the mighty strong clown. Oh, what is wrong with him? Hear the bearded beauty, the siren from Fiji. I think I'm gonna be sick. Backed by popular demand.
Bearded lady.
Clumsy, Pukey the clown and the monkey man. Why does the monkey have a chainsaw? Find romance in the tunnel of love. Swing on the queen of chains. Look at the... Ow! Scream on Pound Mountain. Oh, but that's not safe. See the death-defying fire spells of Dr. Infernum's Pyrotechnic Emporium. Is he actually on fire? Why is that person on fire? Earn new achievements and triumph the new HC-12 shotgun and tactical lever-action rifle. Why do you need a shotgun at a carnival? I don't care, it's unlockable. Why does the carnival cleanup crew need hazmat suits? No, no, I'm done. This is a horror show. I'm getting out of here. If you can hear this, run!
News and outbreaks and variants and behavior
What the fuck? I'm taking you to Pound Mountain.
modes and threats in the weekly outbreaks.
Twice.
I mean, I know it's a horror theme, but there's some great humor in this.
Oh yeah, I mean, seasonal events are definitely the most fun to work on. I mean, it's just, we can just go crazy and go goofy. You know, we got clowns.
You got the monkey that bangs the cymbal with a chainsaw.
We got clowns. We got fat clowns. We got short clowns, tall clowns.
You know, we got it all.
Tell me a little bit about what is the gameplay? What's some of the stuff that people can experience in the summer sideshow?
So it's a limited time event. It's only going to last for 1 month. So all this crazy stuff you're seeing here, it's 1 month. And there's over 50 cosmetic items that people can.
No, it looks cool. Killing Floor was not something I played.
All the sets have been replaced,
bought the first one. I played it a little bit. But it's just
we
not my
also have,
thing.
mini games
I can't get into this kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it was very well done.
Right at the start of the trailer.
Yep. We've also
it's
got
like a
2 new
game that
weapons
has a
we're
community that's
introducing.
super dedicated, but it isn't something you hear about all the time. So I'm happy that this is happening.
Yeah, I saw the weekly outbreak at the end
People
of the
are probably
What's the weekly outbreak
stoked.
about?
So each week, new gameplay mode comes out with new challenges for the player. We have one, it's starting out with Cranium Cracker, and that's a headshot only mode. And
So
then
no
we have-
damage unless it's headshot.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have another one called Tiny Terror, where every time you shoot a Zed, they actually shrink. They become like little midget Zeds, which is really crazy. And whenever the players get hit, they shrink too.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, that's just 2 of them. We have 8 total, and it's over 2 months worth of content. And if they're really hard to beat, but if you beat it, you get really cool, precious items and stuff like that.
So, of course, I have to ask, when can people play it?
Actually, you can play it tomorrow. And it's free
Damn!
on Steam all week.
Easy.
Oh my goodness.
So you got no excuse not to try it.
Hot
well,
damn.
I mean, what if people are
Well
here
played.
at E3?
Oh, well, they can play here too.
Oh boy, that was a
tomorrow.
setup on my part. Yeah, whereabouts is it at on the E3 floor?
That's at the PC Gamer Show.
Oh, that's right. It's at the PC Gaming Show booth. We have our own booth here at E3.
Yes.
Oh. I'm glad that 2 of you are very excited to hear that.
the first of many, right? This is going to become a tradition.
Indubitably.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge of the budget, so yes, of course. Well, I want to say, Bill, thank you so much for coming out. Congrats
Absolutely,
on
man.
all the projects and the progress. Bill Monk from Tripwire
Thanks, Dan.
Interactive.
Thank you.
Cheers. Let's head back up to the mezzanine for a little bit of social with Sonia.
This year's PC Gaming Show is being broadcast on more platforms than ever before. We are on Steam, we are on Facebook and Twitch and Mixer. We are all over the place. This is
all
awesome.
these Mixer
and
drops.
guys, if you're on Mixer, you gotta sweet talk the mods a little bit. Be kind of nice to them because they're going to be giving away games throughout the entire show.
Oh my goodness, it's
Unfortunately,
savage.
no free games for day 9. But sorry. Back to you, Sean.
I'll happily buy them. Yay, video
jokes.
games. Now, if any of you got the chance to see the conferences leading up to today, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. In particular, Microsoft has had a whole slew of games people are pumped for, including some that are going to be at this show, starting with the first ever incarnation of Forza Motorsport coming straight to PC. It's Forza Motorsport 7. Joining me to
Now
talk
you're
about
talking
it
my
is
game.
the creative director of Forza Motorsport from Turn 10,
You have
Bill
my
Giese.
attention.
Come here, Bill.
Come on, Bill.
How's it going?
Yeah, Bill, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just keep saying
The
Bill.
announcement yesterday must have been really exciting for you guys.
Huge announcements. We revealed a car to the world.
Not an in-game car, a
no,
car.
an actual car. That's normally saved for car shows like Geneva and Paris.
Yeah.
We revealed a car here at E3, the Porsche
Yeah, that was
911
awesome.
GT2 RS to the world yesterday. It was awesome.
You know, I've gotten the chance to play the previous Forza Motorsport games, and they always struck me as a racing game, not focused on
It's a
being
racing game
cartoonish or
with
strapping guns
environments
to the
that
car.
look better
it's about
than some
hyper-realistic racing.
first-person
Forza
shooters.
Motorsport is about precision, it's about competition, and we've rebuilt Forza Motorsport 7 from the ground up to really recreate that feeling of driving a car at peak. The cars, we have over 700 cars. Every single one of them, they're going to rattle and shake. It's going to scare the crap out of you.
What are some of the things that you've done to bring that experience to PC?
Well, going to PC has been awesome. Not only will it have mouse and keyboard support, but with multi-USB, we have every fan-requested wheel on the market. And it's been exciting for the team.
That's a lot of USB
It's a lot
devices.
of wheels, let me tell you. And we've been testing that. Last week alone, we brought in any USB device we had, and we played on a Guitar Hero guitar and a DDR pad.
What?
Now, you're not going to do that, obviously.
That's
but
not
Of
how
course
real
you are.
racing
Racers do
works.
it.
That's not the hyper-realistic.
You've just challenged
Whatever you
people.
have in your closet, plug it in, you're ready to go.
Now, what about for low-end PCs? There's obviously a lot of people who are on budget devices. I mean, what about for them? What's the optimization been like?
Well, it's been great. Going to the high end of 4K, unlock frame rate, 21:9, but we've also lowered our min spec as well to include i5.
21:9
No matter
racing
where
is
you
actually a
play,
good idea.
It looks and plays great.
And speaking
Much
of looking and
better,
playing great, you're here at
peripheral
E3, and I
vision.
understand you have some out-of-control rigs that people can actually play the games on.
Absolutely. Come by the show. We've got 2 hydraulic rigs in 4K on ultra 4K PCs.
Hydraulic rigs? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, bring a vomit bag and come on and check it out. It looks awesome.
Well, awesome. Bill, thanks so much
Thank
for sharing
you.
with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
I'm incredibly excited of all the stuff Microsoft's doing. You just got the chance to look at Forza, and now coming onto the stage, I am replacing Bill with Ted Timmons. He's the PC
Bill and
design
Ted.
lead at Rare to talk about Sea of Thieves. Come on out, Ted.
Oh, yeah. The water in this game
Ted
looks
Timmons,
so damn
welcome.
good.
It's a pleasure. So, Ted, talk to me a little bit
Also,
about
you can fire
what
yourself
is
out of a
Sea
cannon.
of Thieves.
Yeah,
Nice
so we feel like we've made the
t-shirt
pirate game you've always
choice.
wanted. When you think about sailing around the open seas, you and your crew of crewmates.
Looking flashy.
Basically, it's Pirates of the Caribbean meets the Goonies.
What are some of the things that you're showcasing here at E3 in the game?
Yeah, so for anyone who didn't see the briefing yesterday, we showed off great new features like riddle map storms and firing yourself out of cannons.
A common pirate pastime.
Yeah, pretty known.
Now, I had to ask the same question to Forza Motorsport. What are some of the things, some of the features that you've added in to focus on the PC experience?
Yeah, so we've got things like 4K, unlocked frame rates, everything you expect, but we've also bought our gameplay footage in 21:9 as well, my personal favorite.
Your favorite resolution,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
one of the top 3 favorite resolutions
Yeah,
of
it's probably
yours?
there with 32:9 and 16:9 as well, probably.
So, tell me a little bit more about the PC version. Obviously, it's probably a challenge to try to develop for 2 different devices at once.
Yeah, so we decided to change our approach to the game. We're actually building both versions in parallel because we felt that's how we deliver the same game on the same day.
So it's not a port from one device to the other?
Correct, yeah. We felt it was really important just to build them together from the very beginning.
Just one single code path?
One single code path, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know a whole lot of people here are curious to get the
Damn,
chance to
not even
play
a port.
it. Is there an
That's
official release
great
date
news
or
for
a
people that are
opportunity for them to
paranoid
play
about
it?
Yeah, so we're coming to both platforms in early 2018, but right now we have a technical alpha. You're welcome to come sign up. We have thousands of PC players playing already. So yeah, come join us, seaofthieves.com.
Once again, Ted Timmons.
Awesome, thank you very
from
much.
Rare, thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Seaofthieves.com. Now, this next title is one I'm personally very, very excited about, given the fact that when I took
Technical
one
Alpha,
look at the
name
trailer,
drop.
the striking
Thanks,
visual style
guys.
just grabbed me.
Appreciate the
It's an evolution
shout-out.
of Cyberpunk, a game called The Last Night. Here to talk about it is the creative director at Odd Tales. Join me in welcoming Tim Sauret.
Hello,
Pleasure,
Sean.
Tim.
Hello.
Welcome.
Pleasure for me.
Thanks for coming out. Let's ask the obvious question. What is The Last Night?
The Last Night is what we call a cinematic platformer, which means
it's not a game like Mario where you have to jump from platform to platform.
Yeah.
But it's more story-driven. It's more.
This game is already getting dumpstered by people because one of the guys, I don't know if it's this guy or not,
It reminded me quite a bit about it, and I
was tied up in the Gamergate nonsense.
Reveal at Microsoft yesterday. I mean, that trailer was such a hit; it blew up. What was that like for you guys?
Which is
we are obviously super
still
happy
to this
with the
day
trailer reception. It's been absolutely incredible.
the dumbest thing the
now,
internet
of
has
course,
ever come
I have
together to
some
do.
concerns I want to address. I am embarrassed by some tweets I made in the past. I want to apologize for those. They do not in any way represent who I am today or what the last night will be about.
Holy shit, he's actually talking
about
about
what the
it.
game is about. I know that the setting of the last night is super important to the character of the game. Tell me, where are we right now?
I want you to imagine a world where machines are surpassing us in every possible way,
Right.
So not only physically, but also intellectually, emotionally, even creatively.
I'm sure that will go over swimmingly.
Any job that you could possibly imagine, an AI does better.
Absolutely.
Including being a host for a PC gaming show.
Including that.
Well, I imagine, thank you, this one person who is also excited about the booth. Now, in terms of this world, this must give a kind of sense of existential crisis to all the inhabitants.
Yeah, like the way I can.
Like, what is it like to be a person in this world?
So, in a world where you're not valuable anymore in production.
What I can say about this is I don't really care if this guy's Gamergate caught up or not, or whatever the shit he said.
So
this is some sexy ass
see with this game is how do you
pixel
define
art.
yourself? When you don't have anything to trade or to strive for.
Yeah, and I can see, obviously there's the futuristic lighting and the visuals, but there's also that sort of
Art
drab,
style is
dreary tone.
fantastic.
This art style is amazing. I mean, all of these assets are in 2D, but it has so many modern effects. How did you even think of this?
So it all comes down to my background in VFX and advertising, basically. So I wanted to, explore what I could do with 2D and pixel art, and just augment that and enrich it with modern techniques of lighting and compositing.
Right. And we've talked a little bit about where we are, about the art style. Who are you? Who do you play as in The Last Night?
Yeah, so the character you get to play is a young idealist, I would say.
Yeah.
And because of a childhood accident, he cannot enjoy the same gamified, augmented life than everybody else.
Right.
So because of that, he wants to change the world. And
you want to have an impact and a meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. So on his way to do that, he's going to meet some questionable characters you have to trust or not on your way.
What about the gameplay? What are the things that, if I'm the player, what do I do in The Last Night?
So we took inspiration from some classic genre like point and click and adventure games.
Yeah.
But so you get, to solve puzzles and dialogues, of course. But we added a real-time component to it.
Real-time in what sort of sense? What makes it a real-time puzzle?
So it means that, while you are busy breaking in an apartment, for instance, all the simulation is still happening around you. So police come around, and you have to be careful about that.
So in a sense, if I tried to break into the apartment at night, the police might be on patrol at that time, but if I came in the morning, there might be no police, but the resident might be home.
Absolutely, yeah. So that means that, if you see the police coming around the corner, you better,
Look at the fucking art direction in this game.
You also mentioned that the structure of the game is in one night after the other. What's that like?
Yeah, so the game is structured around several nights, so it spans on several nights, and they are all interconnected, which means that what you tell people on the very first night, and what you do also is all remembered.
So if I'm just in a
Sean is killing this interview right now.
In the middle of it?
Yeah,
it's really difficult to interview somebody who's struggling to speak English. I've had to do it a couple times.
That's fast. That must add
Sean's
a
just
huge
smashing it
amount
out of the park.
replayability, since the world is just changing based upon
Yeah, we're
your
taking a lot
inputs.
of pleasure to hide a lot of stuff in the city, and we hope the community will have fun to figuring that out collectively. So, yeah.
Well, again, I love the art style. I love these story-driven adventure games. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Sean.
I'm looking forward to it. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Once again, that's oddtales.net for more information about The Last Night. Now, this next game surprised me. I'm sure it will surprise you because of its style. It's from the makers of Arma, the realistic military simulator, and DayZ, the zombie survival game. This one has a much more playful tone, though. Let's look at the next title from Bohemia Interactive.
It was the mother of all storms. But somehow I just knew everything was going to be... Well, being stranded on a desert island is a lot of fun. You get to meet new friends. You get in shape. And you learn how to craft.
Not another one.
And because it's your land, it won't take long before you call that place a home. But that's just the beginning, because here, you can do anything.
What the what the fuck?
Islands. Explore your creativity. Visit us at islands.com.
Here to join me to talk about Islands is the creative director from Bohemia Interactive.
What?
It's Alish Ulm. Welcome, Alish. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sean.
What kind of game is Islands?
Okay, so Islands is a sandbox game about survival and exploration, but at the same time, in Islands, you can create your own games, your own adventures, just like the ones we've shown in the video.
Yeah.
Actually, Islands stands for your lands, lands that you create where you make the rules.
And it's almost like a sandbox game, not where you're necessarily building a structure, but you're trying to build an experience.
Yes, exactly.
And I have to ask, given the fact that the style of it contrasts so sharply with Arma and DayZ, what is it about Islands that still makes it a Bohemia game?
Yeah, we get this a lot, but actually beneath the surface there are still the core values that make up a Bohemia game.
So did they just drop DayZ entirely and say, fuck finishing that, let's do something else?
And just like Arma or DayZ, we're trying to create a platform to connect players with each other when they play online or when they create something new and share it with the community.
And I know that modding is a legendary part of Bohemia's history. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from Arma, learned from DayZ, and brought to modding in Islands?
Well, we have our own editor. It's not a standalone application. It's a part of the game.
Oh, really? I mean, I'd assume that it was just outside all other editors.
No, we would like players to be able to prototype their creations really quickly.
Yeah.
And so in the editor, the players can obviously create something new, but they can also decide to open and modify existing games, ones that we created or ones that other players made for them.
Yeah, I mean, we got the chance to see some scenarios in the initial trailer. Like, those are the ones that you're referring to.
Yep.
That is fantastic. I mean, tell me a little bit about
what it is. It's similar to
right
Bethesda releasing their editor, right?
Well, this is just some random multiplayer game. There are two guys. Initially, there were three. I think one just like fell down the bridge. They are trying to get some kind of treasure, and yeah, they are setting the explosives.
Mm-hmm.
Better stand right next to the explosives.
I know you guys are here at E3. Hey, look, it's the treasure. I know you guys are here at E3. What are some of the things that players can get their hands on at this event?
Well, we'll be showing some of the games that we created with the Islands game editor, but at the same time, we'll be showing how they can use the editor to create those games.
That's awesome. And I mean, I know there's a way for people to play right now, is that right?
Yeah, actually, they can already play the alpha version of the game. It's available as a part of our Bohemia incubator program.
Mm-hmm.
They can find more information on our website, islands.com. And later this year, we are coming to Steam Early Access.
That's awesome. And remember, that's islands.com with a Y. We're good.
Will they ever leave?
So I want to say, Alish, thank you so much for coming out to talk about Islands. It's been a pleasure. And of course,
that's the question.
I hope you're as excited as I am to come up with some total nonsense when I sit down to play. Our next world exclusive is going to be up in the mezzanine with Sonia.
Thank you, Sean. I am so honored to be a part of this world-exclusive reveal from developers Clay. You might recognize
She's
their
done a
name
remarkable
from games like
job
Don't
of
Starve
starting
or Don't
every
Starve Together for
single
lonely folks like
segment of
myself.
hers the
And
exact
last year,
same way with the
PC Gaming
exact same
Show, they
inflection.
actually
It's
revealed
quite
their
impressive.
sci-fi colony sim game, Oxygen Not Included. And this year, they are back. And they are back with a bang. And I am so excited to reveal their upcoming sci-fi RPG game. It is called Griftland.
Griftland! Ah yes, perfect, the traveling snail. So this is the darkest dungeon, guys, right? Oh, Grift! With a T.
I absolutely love Clay games and can't wait the chance to try Griftlands. Now, this next title is an interesting one because I'm not someone who plays many VR games, but I got a chance to check this one out several months ago, and I was immediately hooked, so I can't wait to talk about it with the creative
Don't
director
Starve.
from Ready at
Oh,
Dawn.
okay.
It's Rue
Sorry, very similar art
Virasuria
style.
to talk about Lone Echo. Welcome,
Hey,
Rue.
Sean. Thank you
It's
for
good to
having me.
have you here. Now, Rue.
Yeah.
I've gotten the chance to play Lone Echo, but a lot of people here
Thanks for
maybe
having me
haven't
back,
seen it
guys.
or
I'm not
heard
gonna
of it.
lie to you.
Just
I'm
walk us
basically gonna be a
through what
zombie
is
all
the
day.
game.
So the game,
I'm doing my best.
Lone Echo is a single player experience in VR
Sorry.
where you play a cybernetic AI on a mining station in the rings of Saturn.
There's a name
And
for you.
Basically, in the game
That you guys can't
you're
see.
allowed to move,
Sorry.
in zero G freely. You can interact with everything inside the environment, and also you'll see that you have an NPC that you can interact
Yeah.
with. You can use your hands basically to go everywhere you need to go.
This was the thing that was so amazing for me. You stand still, and then you use your arms to grab onto objects in the environment, to push and pull yourself around, and it was really amazing to move that way. I've never seen this before.
Exactly. I mean, that's basically where the genesis of the project was. We built the mechanic to build the game. So the mechanic was this idea that came from watching, ISS space station astronauts, moving around, and we just basically made this motion that allows you to navigate using your hands just like you would use your legs.
So it's been a few months since I got the chance to play. What's been happening in terms of the single player? Here you got some fancy new voice actors lined up.
Yeah, we did actually. When we wrote the story for it, we actually had an actor in mind, somebody that a lot of people out there know, Troy Baker, and Troy decided to take on the role for the AI.
Wow.
And of course, another thing that we get the chance to talk about is the multiplayer component to Lone Echo called Echo Arena. Rue, how does this game work?
Basically, it's a futuristic VR sport where you play, 10 people play in 2 different teams to get a disc inside each other's goals.
Now, you might be a little bit confused as to how exactly that works, but don't worry.
So let's
We're gonna
see it
take
in
an
action.
even closer look at what the gameplay is like for Echo Arena.
In zero gravity, players fly faster.
Isn't this kind of like the game that existed in Ender's Game, sort of, kind of?
Go farther.
Except with a disc.
Hit harder.
Oh, you punched him in the face.
Stakes get higher. And victory.
I love how absolutely jank that looked.
Tastes sweeter. This is Zero G.
It's Ender's
in the Echo
Tron.
Arena.
Anomaly detected. What the hell? Jack, are you seeing? Area unstable.
We are up here with Echo Arena in action as some of the Ready at Dawn developers are playing against each other. So, Doug, welcome back. Hello.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you. But listen, before we get into VR, I really wanted you to tell me a little bit more about the Grand Slam event.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm a big sports fan. So tennis, golf, rugby, they have their Grand Slam. Now we have it at esports. So with Intel, ESI, and DreamHack, we now have our Grand Slam, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. That's exciting. So I'd like to know a little bit more about Intel's involvement with this game.
You know, we've been involved working closely with the best VR developers for a long time, and I'm excited to work with Ready at Dawn as they're delivering the next second generation
Oh, there's
VR game.
memes all
They've
over
been an ideal
that.
partner to
Somebody's
enhance
gonna
that
run wild with that
experience
shit.
to scale to the
Guaranteed.
most performant CPUs like the i7 and i9.
That's amazing. So I was really excited to hear about your announcement earlier.
Yeah, Ready at Dawn, Intel, and Oculus, we announced that Intel is sponsoring a free release
Ender's Game is a perfect VR
to
application.
all
You're not
Oculus
wrong.
Rift users when it launches on July 20th for limited time. And this is because we want as many users as possible on this system. We want to ensure that everyone, including these guys behind us, the gamers behind us as you see, that they try and experience the
She's
future
got
of
the
VR
teleprompter the EA guy never did. Yeah, the
Speaking
EA
of esports, I would really love to hear
YouTuber
more about
guy.
Intel's involvement with esports.
Oh,
Intel
that
has
poor
a
guy. I
long
felt so
history
bad
as a
for him.
leader in esports. We worked with companies like ESL for the Intel Extreme Masters. And we're excited about Echo Arena and the growth of VR esports. And that's why we're expanding our partnership with ESL.
I'm waiting for this
and
guy in
Oculus
Team Blue to
launch the
accidentally
VR
spin around and
Challenge
punch
League.
the
Its
presenter in the back
kicks
of the
off
head.
in July, and it features Echo Arena
Accidental
and the
back
Unspoken.
fist.
And it gives esports enthusiasts the opportunity to compete in VR at key upcoming events, with the finals happening in Poland in 2018 at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Okay, well, that sounds kind of awesome. Well, thank you, Doug. I cannot wait to play this game. It's going to be coming out July 20th, and you can pre-order it right now, and Rift owners can actually try the open beta on June 23rd. So back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Sonia. And once again, I got the chance to play Lone Echo, and I want to stress, you just have to play it. The single-player experience is especially mind-blowing. So once again, that's Lone Echo. Our next guest announced a game 2 years ago under the title Project Blue Streak, and we now know it as LawBreakers. Here to talk about
Holy
not just
crap,
gameplay, but
LawBreakers
cold,
is
hard
still
dates
alive?
is the CEO of Boss Key Productions himself, Cliff Blazinski. Welcome to the stage.
Thanks for having me, man. Yes.
Now, Cliff, I know that you guys in the past have been doing a lot of
The
alphas and
professional
betas. How have those been going?
They've been going well.
Cliff
The alpha, it was
Blazinski.
all right, and then the first beta was good. The second beta was great. We're doing
That
our final
earring,
closed
though.
beta June 28th. If you have a key, sign on to Steam, download the latest update, and then we're doing our Rise Up event, which is a full open beta June 30th. Hop online, play the game, let us know what you think.
And I got to ask what it has been like to have people play the game, to give feedback in those betas. How has that shaped the experience?
Well, a lot of developers and publishers, they do these kind of bullshit marketing betas where they're like, oh, it's our beta and the game's out next week. I'm like, that's
Cliff.
not really the case. You're not going to be able to fix anything. So for our game, we found that the Rommers shotgun was way too spammy. Overcharge wasn't that exciting, so we sped that up a little bit, and we sped up the characters. We took actual feedback, and we're integrating it into the game.
And these are more than just balance
Cliff.
changes. I imagine that speeding up the pace of things creates a pretty different balance dynamic across the board.
Yeah, I mean, you change one thing, it's the butterfly effect. It affects everything else. And is the game going to be balanced on launch? No. That's why we need people's feedback. Play the game, see what characters are overpowered, underpowered, and then we'll introduce new characters and reshuffle the deck.
And I know that it can't be in beta forever, so Cliff, tell us when it's out.
Can I get a drum roll?
Audience, go! Do a thing!
So the game is finally dropping on August 8th on PC and PlayStation 4.
Oh, that's soon.
$29.99, none of that $60 multiplayer only bullshit.
Woo! And if you didn't see it online, Cliff took a bow. Yes, $29.99.
Curtsy.
Well, if you haven't gotten the chance to see the game and follow it throughout the recent PC gaming shows, let's take a look at some people who got the opportunity to play LawBreakers, and we'll have them speak for themselves.
Oh, Cliffy
Oh, the speed of
B.
this game is
I liked you
intense.
when I was 12, and now I just find you to be a bit of a douche.
It's exhilarating. Full frontal fuckery. A million miles an hour.
Literally
Full
from every
frontal
angle.
I was
fuckery.
shaking after the matches ended. It was like a high.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
fastest games
Quote
that
it.
I've ever played.
Hashtag it.
I'm like, I just
Full
need a minute,
frontal
man. I'm shaking.
fuckery.
I'm shaking over here.
I'm shaking, I'm shaking.
I think the thing people are going to find in this game the most enjoyable is simply how difficult it is.
There's a pretty impressive skill gap. You can't just sit down and dominate within an hour or two.
Practical skill required. Precision aiming, the ridiculously fast movement.
And mechanically, it requires a lot of aim, a lot of vision and game sense. It's a twitch shooter. It's how a twitch shooter should be.
The action's going to press you, and if you don't keep on top of it, you're just going to get blown off the map.
I think team comp is definitely a huge thing for this game.
As we're flying around in zero gravity, you know, it's kind of a new situation for us. How do you keep up with your tank and protect them and heal them, also protect your healer and peel off them while DPS is still being affected and they're being supported? It gets crazy very quickly.
The gravity is the biggest thing because that adds so much verticality, and you combine the different movement systems of each character, where some characters have teleports and some characters have dashes. This gets really wild and insane.
Now, literally anywhere you look is potentially an attack point.
I am literally under the map, saving myself from a grappling hook, whipping myself into the air, shooting at anyone below.
You need to check every possible corner. People are going to fly you with jetpacks, they're going to fly at you with double swords. You're going to have
someone that could just jet up in the sky, and all of a sudden now you have to worry about getting up there.
There's some abilities that I just haven't seen before.
Medic role is actually phenomenal. Well, it's battle medic, they call it. So it's not one of those medics where you have to sit back. It's not even a thankless role anymore because I'm out there slaying, killing with the rest of my team while keeping them alive.
Wraith's got a really good one. With the sliding and the jump into 0G, that's great. Getting like through the map that fast is ridiculously fun.
I've been using the Vanguard to drift off the side, so I've been coming up behind the enemy. It took like 3-4 rounds before they caught on.
With the gunslinger, he's a very precision character, so just spinning around and popping someone in the head real quick, it feels great.
The game is just aggressive all the time.
And this game gives you so much variety of motion.
I never felt more tested.
It makes you think in a completely different way.
The fastest speed I've ever seen in my life. Crazy when you're playing it.
You've not played Quake.
Just as a reminder, that
3,
Ballin' Intel
2.
PC is still up for grabs. Don't miss
Get back
out
to
if
talking.
you forgot. This bad boy is running an i7 7700K processors, a lot of 7s in there, and an NVIDIA GTX 1080. It's worth more than $2,500. You do not want to miss out. Head over to PCGamingShow.com.
Why didn't they put one of the new i9s in there, huh?
I think it could run Crysis at max settings. What do you think, Sean?
I think it could run Crysis
I
at
think it
max
can,
settings.
Sonya. And I also think that it can run our next title. I am a master of transition. Our next game is from Chucklefish, the wonderful folks who helped bring you Stardew Valley and Starbound. Let's take a look at their upcoming game, Wargroove.
Star. Shit, I actually didn't hear the name of this game. Chucklefish is a phenomenal name for a game company, though. Huh. Wargroove, okay.
Wargroove. Today, we're not just going to get a chance to talk about the game, but we will be seeing the editor in action, a live demo on stage. I'm joined by Jay Bayless and Doris Karaskotza from Chucklefish. welcome. It's so great to have you.
Thanks.
Well, I want to say right
bit
away,
like Final Fantasy Tactics type
quite a bit of Fire
type
Emblem
deal.
and Advance Wars.
Yeah, Fire Emblem and Advance Wars are definitely kind of inspirations of ours. You know, Wargroove is a turn-based tactical strategy game.
Yeah,
it's
Fire
a game
Emblem.
about starting to build up your resources every mission and push forward into your enemy territory and just kind of dominate the map and make the right choices. But yeah, we've got a lot of unique kind of gameplay mechanics, and we're bringing it into the modern age. We've got online play, mod support,
kinda
and
looked
kind of content
like a
creation as well.
mobile
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're going to get the chance to look at today. Doris, who's
thing.
operating the
I don't
PC
know.
right now, tell us what it is we're looking at.
So what we're looking at today is the world map of Wargroove, and this is our campaign editor. So these are the tools we use in-house to create Wargroove campaigns, and we're shipping them with the game so players can create their own scenarios. So I've been placing down map
didn't fuck around with that Dell monitor.
and each of those represent a mission, and then you link them together to create the path through your campaign.
And I know that one of the things you wanted to talk about was the branching path element.
Yeah, so you can have branching path, obviously, and the
Idra
cool thing with
Union,
that
literally
is
the same game?
every
Okay.
branch can have conditions. So, for example, let's say you get a high score in a mission, and that could lead you through a harder path in your campaign.
Or you could have a secret path that triggers based on some event in the mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's hop into one of the missions and get that one started. And Jay, walk me through what it is that we're taking a look at.
So yeah, this is our map editor. This is like straight drawing tiles straight into the battle screen. You know, it's really simple to use, really understandable immediately. You can just kind of draw those tiles straight in there and drop in the full range of units.
I mean, this looks cool.
Commander right now.
I've not played a lot of games in the genre, and by a lot of, I mean pretty much zero.
You have this unit that kind of represents like the king and queen in chess at the same time.
I'm not really...
They have unique abilities and act as your avatar in battle.
Well
and they're really
versed in it.
powerful, so you can kind of push forward really heavily with them. But there's a lot
But
of risk
the
reward
art
in there as
style
well,
is-
because if
is
you
pretty
actually
awesome.
lose that unit, then you actually lose the game.
This looks...
Oh, that's what you mean by the king comparison.
Absolutely,
it's both
yeah.
your power unit and the queen, but your loss condition is the king.
Yeah, and other
This
tools
looks,
include you can drop down buildings right now. We
pretty
dropped
cool.
in some HQs. Those are kind of like your base of
Very
operations.
usable.
And to take the opponent's HQ is to win the match.
Yeah.
But on
Probably
top
be
of
fun
like kind of simple,
if it was like a
easy-to-use
Mario
tools,
Maker
we've also got
thing
more
where there's
advanced
a
tools.
like a
So you can
storefronty
use the
type
stone
deal
tool right here, and you can
for...
highlight an area and assign like a scripted encounter or sequence to that.
Okay, so, you know, if I step
You
into
know,
that
having
forest,
maps
someone can pop out and
and
attack.
a rating
Yeah, you could
system.
have bandits
If it had
jump out
something
and
like
attack
that,
you
it would
from
be
the
kind of
woods.
cool.
And the really cool thing
People
about
doing
that
campaigns.
is that that actually ties back into the campaign map we saw earlier. So maybe that will trigger a condition. Maybe after encountering those bandits, your story takes a different turn and you decide to go into the forest to fight more of them, and so on.
Now, Doris, what is the process to go from this map to a playable game?
So it's very simple, like as simple as sharing the map, actually. So you can just share your map. And if you want more content, just go online and download map. And everything in just one click, basically.
And there it is. So let me actually take a step over to this timer here. It has been 3 minutes, and we have gotten the chance to design a campaign map, end a mission, and get it playable. That is incredibly fast. Jay, Doris, I want to thank you both so much for coming out to talk about this game today. Cheers, guys,
Thanks
and
very
thanks
much.
for coming.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. That's neat.
For full coverage of every video, announcement, and moment from the PC Gaming Show, visit PCGaming.com.
I feel like the audio did not do what they wanted it to there.
The next game that we get the opportunity to talk about is the sequel to Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. It's Middle-earth: Shadow of War that has an
I'm
officially
literally
announced
almost
release date. Guys, it's
a page and a half
October 10th.
deep
Here to
on
talk to me
games that
about
we've
it
seen
is
here. It's
Michael
crazy.
DePlater, the Vice President of Creative at Monolith. What is up, Michael?
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for the chair.
Hell yeah. Well, the chair is a nice break from all that grueling standing.
Yeah.
And it gives us to do one of the most iconic things in PC
I
gaming.
need a highlighter.
This posture.
There.
Thank you. Now, we've heard about the October 10th release date. What are some of the things that have been changing and building upon Shadow of Mordor in terms of Shadow of War?
I think what we've tried really hard to do, although it seems pretty obvious, is take the things that were good, that worked in the first game, so our combat and the Nemesis system and this world that we'd created, and to build on that, but also to take the lessons we learned in the first game and really improve
I'm
those.
afraid
So
that people
really
are
make
going
this into
to
a truly epic
basically
fantasy
only want to
that's,
play this game
kind
for
of
the
up
orc.
there with if you go and see Return of the King or Lord of the Rings. and
As
really
great as
focusing
everything
on the
looks, it's like that
story and
orc
the
is just such a good
characters as well.
character. It's going to
I mean, you've been
overshadow
talking
everything else.
all throughout about how important story is in Shadow of War. What does that mean in terms of the work that you're doing?
It means paying off the epic scale, so having these titanic full-scale battles. It means the stakes of the story, so we're facing the most iconic and powerful villains, you know, Sauron and the Witch King and the Nazgul. And it means having these incredibly memorable and personal characters, so allies and enemies that you're working with.
And in terms of E3, what are the types of things that you're showcasing here that people can see?
Oh, the reason we're really excited for E3 is two things. People being able to get their hands on the game and play it. And also that we're going to be giving demos of the game, but because of the Nemesis system, every single demo we give, we have no idea what's going to happen.
That's awesome.
We don't know which orcs or which characters are going to turn up, which stories are going to happen. So every single time people go and see
I never
the
played the
demo,
first
they're
one, but I
gonna
heard
see
almost
something new.
nothing but
So
good
we,
things. And
because
this
of
looks
that,
like
we really
a
wanted
solid
to
action
share
game
that,
as
not
well.
just
So
at E3, but for anyone who wants to tune in and watch those demos
Oh,
as well.
yeah. Yeah, and of course you see all the information for how to watch those online throughout the entire duration of E3. I know that in a moment we're going to get a chance to delve a little bit more into those story bits with a unique cinematic based on one of the characters that was in the trailer. Can you introduce her for us, Eltariel?
Yeah, so she's one of the new characters we're introducing into the world and into our story, Eltariel. She's the Blade of Galadriel. So she's essentially an assassin that's been sent to Mordor to hunt down the Nazgul and to hunt down anyone corrupted by a ring of power. And you, as Talion, are running around Mordor wielding a ring of power. So there's some interesting tension in that relationship with her. But she's this awesome character. And as well as that, she gets her own fully playable campaign in our first major story DLC as well, which is the Blade of Galadriel.
Well, before we hop into that, I just want to say, Michael, thanks so much for coming on to talk about Shadow of War. We talked about how important story is to Shadow of War, so let's take a little bit of a look at 2 minutes of the cinematic, Eltariel meeting Talion.
yes, let's.
So it is true.
You killed me.
And yet you live. What is that like? To die and live again? Do you feel pain? Do you suffer?
What of the city? Of the Palantir?
The Nazgul have taken both. They belong to the Dark Lord now.
Then I have failed.
What if you keep fighting?
He wields the light of Galadriel. You can recover the ring.
Your rings are the cause of all this, Elf Lord.
You can see him.
I see him.
Who are you?
I'm the Blade of Galadriel.
Since when does Galadriel work with assassins?
Great threats make for unlikely alliances. You know this better than most. Now tell me more about this ring.
We crafted it to defeat Sauron. But it was lost.
The Nazgul will be drawn to the power of the ring.
We cannot let it fall into Sauron's hands. The light of Galadriel, give it to us!
Stay your hand! My light will protect us, but it will not leave my side.
We must move quickly.
Try to keep up.
There is some sick-ass voice acting in that game.
Shadow of War. As a huge fan of Shadow of Mordor, I'm really excited to see where the story goes in the sequel. And I'm pleased to say we have one final game to announce. It's from Microsoft, and I'm not even allowed to say the name yet. So joining me to talk about said unnamed game is a creative director from Microsoft Studios, Adam Eisgreen. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Pleasure here.
Now, Adam, I understand that you've been in games for a long time.
I have. I am coming up on my 25th
few years,
year
Sean.
making video games. So yes, you can actually make a career out of being in games. And you know, I got my start in the DOS days. Remember DOS? Like,
oh yeah, dude, I played.
I still had hair back then.
So I got my start in the DOS days doing role-playing games, D&D games. But I spent a heck of a lot of time making real-time strategy games. I was at Westwood Studios for years, working on the Command & Conquer series. Earth and Beyond, a whole bunch of great games there. Petroglyph, Universe
Sean,
War, Empire War.
getting
So a lot of history on PC.
a little worked
and
up.
I'm excited to get back to it.
Well, I understand that this title is an homage to those roots, and I'm still not going to tell you what it is, but I know you're curious, so let's head right in to this world-exclusive trailer.
Oh boy. Exclusives! World exclusive. Since I don't have one, I thought I'd put it in there. Microsoft Studios. One of history's most beloved PC games. So something I probably don't know about off the top of my head. Is this Alpha Centauri? Just randomly throwing it out there. Age of Empires! Definitive Edition, fully remastered and okay. Oh, Xbox Live multiplayer. This is coming to the Xbox too? What the shit? That's gonna get a lot of very specific people very hard.
Adam.
Sean.
Age of Empires was the first game I ever saved up my allowance to play as a kid. I'd weed my grandma's garden all day. She'd give me like $2, and I still stayed dedicated. Tell me about Age of Empires, man.
Man, you know, nobody has been able to play this game except if they found the CD-ROMs for the last 20 years.
And what's a CD-ROM?
I know, really. These day and age, like, who even
What's
has
a
a drive?
CD-ROM? I don't know.
You know, and this has been such a labor of love for us at Microsoft and our development partner at Forgotten Empires to bring back Age of Empires in such a wonderful
Forgotten Empires
edition,
is like
so everyone can experience
the perfect name for the development house to make Age of Empires remastered.
Graphics, those sprites are gorgeous.
We have redone every single asset in the original Age of Empires.
Damn.
Every animation, every tile set,
Damn.
everything that made Age of Empires great, we have carefully and lovingly taken and made even better and better.
Because I remember just watching the sprites move around in the original game. It was very blocky and stuttery.
16 facings now, so those fonts don't jitter. You know, a ton of work has gone into making the game and the presentation amazing.
What about audio?
Oh, yeah. So we've re-orchestrated and re-recorded the entire soundtrack to the game using an actual symphony this time. It sounds wonderful. The people at studios are constantly begging us to get the soundtrack already.
Now, I have to ask, there were some aspects to the gameplay back then that were a little janky. Have there been any updates to the gameplay in that regard?
Yes. So not only have we done things like improved Find Path, which is, of course, always a big thing in RTS games, we've gone in and actually modernized the UI. A lot of people forget that original Age didn't even have an idle villagers button. So all of that stuff, attack, move, all of those things that people have come to expect
Control
in RTS.
groups?
Yes, control groups.
1A.
Yep. So all of that stuff is all in the game now. So we've taken all of the learnings from the Age games that followed and brought it up to those standards.
And you know, speaking of modernization, I saw that it said Xbox Live Multiplayer, which, as you may or may not know, that is the online matchmaking service that Microsoft uses for PC games. I mean, how are you utilizing that?
Oh, well, we've completely redone how lobbies work and how games and matching works. You know, we have our friend system, of course. It's built into Xbox Live. So players should have a really amazing experience. We also have a web portal, so they can go and track progress and see their results against all the other players. So it should be a really wonderful experience to play.
And what about the beta that we saw at the end of that video?
Yes, so the game will be out later this year, but you can go right now to ageofempires.com and sign up for our multiplayer beta. You know, RTS games are really, you know, our multiplayer is so important. And we want to make sure that this definitive edition of Age is the absolute best we can make it.
Right.
So, you know, multiplayer, please come, sign, play with us, make the game great.
You asked me before we hopped on that you wanted to say one more.
Sounds like they're doing literally everything.
We understand that it's the 20th anniversary of Age of Empires,
which is nice to see.
What is it you wanted to say?
So, yes, Age of Empires, the whole franchise will be it's hitting its 20 mark October of this year. You know, and this is the start, here at E3 with you, is the start of the celebration of 20 years of Age of Empires. And that party is going to roll. We're going to continue that. So you're going to hear from us again in Cologne, Germany at Gamescom in August. And we're going to be having a really wonderful Age of Empires event there and talking a whole bunch about, I think, stuff you're going to want to hear.
I think I'm going to want to hear it.
Yes.
You tease. Well, let me just say, Adam, thank you so much for coming out. Super excited about Age of Empires.
That is a spectacular
and with
remake.
That, our slew of announcements comes to an end. Before
oh,
we
thank
depart,
God, I'm running out of paper.
Let's head back up to the mezzanine with Sonia for one last hello.
Thank you, Sean. I had an amazing time being a part of some awesome game reveals and kicking it with you guys today. If you want any more information on any of the games that you saw today, go to pcgamer.com. If you want to hang out with me and check me out on the internet, at OMG It's Firefox, pretty much everywhere. I had a blast, and for one last time, back to you, Sean.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I gotta say, it was a blast. I hope you had a great time. Thank you all so much for coming out. All of you who braved LA traffic to be here in the morning. All of you who tuned in online. Thanks to our sponsors, Intel, Microsoft, Bohemia, Tripwire, Cygames, and Nexon for help making this event possible. It is an absolute pleasure to have your support. And I'd also like to give a shout out to all the developers and the publishers at their recent conferences that have been going on in the last week. We were super excited about the titles there and following them closely because we're gamers at heart, and we hope that you too enjoyed what we had to share with you today. And as crazy as it sounds, E3 starts tomorrow. So we hope that you get the chance to get your hands on some of the titles that were announced in the last week that you're pumped for. From all the folks at PC Gamer and from me, Day 9, have a wonderful day and go play some video games. We'll see you next year.
That's pretty good. Solid. There was a lot going on in that conference. Oh man, he did the single. Got the single out. Attaboy. Attaboy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, watching this on YouTube, it's time for me to go away to record my thoughts. My singular, lonely thoughts. Of which you'll be able to see as well, but there's the conference, so thank you for watching, and I will see you over on that other video.